What's up, everybody? It's Wolfman Dave here. So I just wanted to do this short video for everybody. It's kind of like just a lot of the compilation albums that I've bought over the years, especially when I was younger, that kind of really did it for me and got me into heavy metal. So I wanted to share that with you guys and see what you think. Do you guys have any of these? Which ones got you into metal? So yeah, I'm gonna change this around. All right, so like I was saying, I guess let's start first with some of the more kind of non-metal compilations, and we're gonna go with Metal from Mothers. So these two I bought at as you can see, at a record store here, All That Music. It's really cool. It's pretty much just the new wave of British heavy metal. You get a lot of really fucking cool bands. Specifically, I started Trespass and Dark Star. You have Angel Witch, Praying Mantis, Iron Maiden. So this is one of the first ones, and I'm not sure if there's more than two, which there could be. So pretty cool if you guys wanted to check that out. Let's see, what else? Let's go with Metal Blade. So Metal Blade had a lot of really cool ones. They're called the Metal Meisters. There's this one called I guess it's the domestic one. And what's interesting about this one is this one had bands like Gwar and 6 Feet Under, Sacred Reich, Ancient, Armored Saint. So a lot of good ones there. And then Metal Meister Volume 3. This is another really good one that got me into metal. We have 6 Feet Under and Bolt Thrower. You have King Diamond. God Dethroned was a huge one. Amon Amarth. So many fucking cool bands on this one. Beseech, Riot, Liberty is a fucking cool song. But yeah, and I like the color scheme between these two. But I think most important of the ones that I got from them was the Deathmeister. This is probably the one that's the most influential to me. Because if you see, it's got Gates of Ishtar, God Dethroned, the Amon Amarth, the Everdawn on there, Lord Belial, Defleshed, Hecate Enthroned, Midwinter, Mythotin, Enthroned. I mean, so many fucking great, super killer bands are on here. I mean, this was easily one of the most influential compilations in my whole life that got me into metal, specifically with the Gates of Ishtar album, which I talk about all the time on the podcast, right? Which, by the way, if you haven't heard, it's called That Metal Podcast, and we're on pretty much every podcasting platform. So let's continue. One of the other ones that really were great were the Death Is Just the Beginning from Nuclear Blast Records. If you want to check out some of the bands on here, there's a lot of great bands. Children of Bodom, Hypocrisy, Dimmu, Benediction, Dismember, Godgory, Death, In Flames, Gardenian, Pegasus, and Synergy. And again, same thing with this one. One of the other ones by far that got me, it further expanded the whole scene of the whole extreme fucking metal. But this probably, Volume 5 is the one that got me the most into it. And it's just they kind of just do a little quick bio of each band, which is really cool. Raising Hell is another fucking great band. Obviously, Death and Gorgoroth are here. Children of Bodom, Satyricon, Godgory, one of my favorite bands. So yeah, it's really cool to see this. Pyrogenesis, I barely started getting into them. They're pretty fucking out there, man. So Death is just the beginning, and apparently there's a lot of other ones. I never really got to see these, which would be cool to start collecting them. So yeah, this is just one of them. A couple that I own. This one, I don't know if it's rare or not, but it's called The Wicked Statements of Intent. This one was really also heavily influential. I have the CD. I don't know where it's at though, but it's in a pile that I have. So quickly, we could see that there's a lot of great bands on here as well. The Haunted, Gardenian, In Flames, Arch Enemy, Gandalf, The Elysian Fields, Catatonia, that's another great song. Naglfar, one of my most favorite, I think super underrated melodic black death metal bands out there. The Crown, Eucharist, Dark Tranquility. Come on, there's a lot of great bands that were on here. And again, they do a little bio. They kind of talk about each band. December Wolves, another great one. So this is another awesome compilation that kind of, Naglfar kind of. There's a lot of bands on here that I guess I would say that would lead you to other bands. And shit, and think about it, for the craziest part. Let's go back really quick to the Metal Blade one. That I really enjoyed. In the corner, it'll tell you right here, according to the Surgeon General, impressionable consumers should not listen to Metal Meister during their formative years because of the risk of open-mindedness. Listening to Metal Blade artists impairs your ability to conform and may cure complacency problems. But the best thing, don't charge more than $5.98, which they fucking did, but still, it was still cheap. That was the cool thing about these. Now, I had to buy this next one because one of my friends, my friend Ernest, actually had it. And it was the Century Media, Century Black Summons Firestarter. This is a heavy hitter in terms of the bands that are on here. Emperor, Old Man's Child, Satyricon, Borknagar, Catatonia, Arcturus, Ophalamia, which is, that's a fucking great album too, by the way, that it's on. Einherjar, Writing Christ, Sacramentum, another great band that I like. Ulver, Samael, Mayhem, Tiamat, and Opeth. And I mean, talk about a fucking killer lineup, right? You can't go wrong with these. And I just love how, during my teens, it was like I was being exposed to all these bands, and now it's so much easier nowadays. You just go on YouTube and you just have it there. Before, I felt like I had to really, you had to really dig, you had to really search, and I feel like it takes away a lot from the way things are now. It takes away a lot from the mystique of a lot of different bands, which kind of sucks. But I do love this whole old school way of finding bands, and I don't know if they still make compilation albums. I haven't gone to a record store for a while and checked out that sort of section. Another heavy hitter for me was the Blackened series. I eventually got these. I might have secondhand. I don't know. I don't know where I got it, but this one specifically, 4 had a lot of great bands, and again, Witchery, Diabolical Masquerade, Profanity, Odium, Misfortune, again more Opeth, Dark Woods, My Betrothed, Carpathian Forest, Ancient Rites. There's a lot of great stuff here, and this one's super simple. They just ended up putting the albums really quickly, just pretty quick, nice and easy for you to identify. And this Witchery album's super fucking badass. So is that fucking Diabolical Masquerade, man. Of course, a lot of these are fucking, probably I would say, classics by now. So the Blackened series was definitely one of my the ones that got me ahead. And this next one, I'm just gonna put kind of all of them, put them down, and it would be the Identity series from Century Media. So these are the ones that kind of also expanded me. So you have Identity 2. I don't have the first one. I mean, there's so many fucking great bands from The Gathering, Sentenced. Actually, Sentenced is one of the first ways I heard through them was through the Identity series. Stuck Mojo, Nevermore. This is another good one. Number 3 with again, Strappy Young Lad, Nevermore, Arcturus, Rotting Christ, Sentenced, Iced Earth, The Gathering, Grave. Out of all of these, 5 and 4 are probably one of the most influential on me. The fucking Catatonia is on there, Old Man's Child, Angra, Jack Panzer's my introduction to them. Part 6 is another great one that got me into more stuff from Skin Lab and Dark Tranquility and Christian, man, that was brutal. Soilwork is one of the first times I heard Soilwork on here. Angel Dust, by far one of the most underrated traditional / thrash bands out there. Identity 7 was not a bad one. This is okay. Probably the ones that to me make up for it were Psy. This is kind of where I started noticing you had bands like Kendria and God Forbid, and I was like, I kind of started to not do it for me. But Identity 4 probably is one of the ones that really did it for me, because you had Moonspell, The Gathering, Rotting Christ, Nocturnal Rites, Elastis, Emperor, Theater Tragedy. So there's a great variety, man. Jack Panzer, Ice Earth. You got a little bit of hardcore with My Own Victim and Sub-Zero. Yeah, this was really by far one of the most influential ones. I think from this, I just ended up buying more and more, as you could tell. And they kind of give their little manifesto about what they're doing, Century Media. And then again, more of the bios from the bands. But I do kind of like that you get to see what they're about. They give you a little bio and they kind of help you with that. So those are just some of them, the ones that I own. I wanted to share that with everybody, and I hope you like it. Cheers, guys.